And I'm joined here on the broadcast by Rob Herrick. He's the head strength and conditioning coach here at St. Anselm College. Coach Herrick, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me.
We've said a robust student-athlete experience will be provided through these difficult times we're living in. So from your perspective, what does that entail from a strength and conditioning perspective?
You know, obviously it's an incredibly strange time for everybody, but I feel like we navigated the situation very, very well, better than most. Bottom line is, while there was no necessarily some competition being had, we still needed to prepare as if there was, and we trained accordingly. We want to peak at the right times, prep the right things for the right sports, and I work with women's hockey, and they did a great job of navigating this and giving me max effort, and that's what we needed, and I'm very appreciative of all that.
Some of the things that have changed for you and Cody Fitzgerald, who's the assistant director here at the college.
Yeah, so we had a phased approach where we essentially we have 10 half racks in our weight room. So we started off by having only 10 athletes in at one time, confined to their rack, unmasked while they were training, but if they needed to navigate the room for cleaning purposes, they needed to be masked up. Student athletes were very, very good at being safe and training hard at the same time. After that, we broke the rosters up into multiple family units, so to speak, and then we trained, assuming that everybody, with our testing protocols that were put in place by the college, everything went pretty smoothly. And then we went into that third phase where the smaller rosters were able to be in the full team environment, with the bigger rosters in larger family units, so that we could train a little harder and navigate the room a little better.
To know that are out there possibly listening here today, what should they know about what they will get if they come to St. Anselm and play field hockey, women's tennis, women's ice hockey, things of that nature? What should they be aware of?
Well, I mean, we obviously want to make them the biggest, the fastest, and the strongest athlete that they can kind of become. That being said, Coach Fitzgerald and I talk all the time about program design as to what is most effective for that particular sport. We think we do a pretty good job of having specialized for the sport that they need and the timing that they need to peak and those kinds of things. And we try to have an open dialogue with all of our head coaches to let them know what our plan is, and then they need to tell us what their plan is so that we can kind of sculpt and create the breed or the type of athlete that they need to compete at the highest level.
It was into kind of tailoring these game plans, these strength and conditioning plans on a sport-by-sport basis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to probably take it a step further. We even try to individualize it as best we can, because not every athlete comes in at the same level of ability or training age. So we really need to try and tailor to each individual, and the program is going to be different, and what we expect of them is going to be a little bit different based on where they're at in their development. But we just make sure that we got to make sure that we're specialized as much as possible, and that we are able to tailor to the needs, whether it be ability level, any injuries that may arise, to make sure that we're conducting training safely and being just the best athlete that we can be.
Things you see for some of our spring sports as they look to await word on the fate of their seasons.
With everything that's going on, Coach Fitzgerald and I have been incredibly grateful for everybody's efforts in this. I can't imagine going through it as a student athlete, so I'm just very grateful about everybody's handled it with grace and professionalism. I'm just very appreciative. Our testing protocol has been very, very good, and everybody's been extremely flexible. That being said, there's still a job to do, and we still got to get players ready to go. We want to get as close to normal as we can upon return, understanding that there's some safety protocols that we've never really done before, but have proven to be pretty effective so far. Like I said, we want to get as close to normal as possible and train as hard as we can, because when we're given the opportunity to compete again, we need to be ready to go. And I'm very confident in our teams that we're going to be ready when competition resumes, more so than I think a lot of people that we might be competing against this year.